I'd always been a creature of habit, my life meticulously planned out on my digital calendar, my days spent in a steady rhythm of work, exercise, and quiet evenings at home. I prided myself on a simple routine that kept chaos at bay. Every night, I'd order dinner from my favorite gourmet delivery service, a small indulgence that punctuated an otherwise ordinary day. That was until one peculiar Thursday evening when an unexpected email landed in my inbox, its subject line reading, "Gourmet delivery receipt, order number 34789. I didn't think much of it at first. After all, I ordered my meal, and a receipt was expected. But as I opened the email and scanned the details, a sense of déjà vu mixed with curiosity overwhelmed me. The receipt itemized a sumptuous dinner, truffle risotto, seared scallops with saffron beurre blanc, a delicate salad of heirloom tomatoes and basil foam, and for dessert, a molten chocolate torte with raspberry coulis. The descriptions were vivid, almost too vivid. I remembered ordering dinner that evening, but something didn't quite add up. I recalled a different meal entirely, something more mundane from my usual rotation of comfort food. I quickly checked my order history on the app, and indeed, the receipt I just read was not what I'd ordered. In fact, it wasn't even on record. I wondered if it was a mistake or perhaps sent in error. Yet, the email was signed with the logo of Le Gourmet Express, a service I had used before, but this receipt seemed far more extravagant than any order I'd ever placed. My curiosity was piqued. I began to search through my inbox for similar messages, and to my astonishment, I found several other receipts for gourmet meals, each one detailing an order I didn't remember making, each one delivered at odd hours, always past midnight. A pattern emerged. Over the past few months, on nights when I was supposed to be asleep or immersed in routine tasks, these receipts had appeared without warning. At first, I tried to brush it off as a glitch in the system or a series of mistaken orders. But as the number of receipts grew and their descriptions became more elaborate, a nagging thought took hold. Someone, somewhere, was orchestrating these deliveries. I spent the rest of that day in a haze of perplexity and excitement. My mind raced through the possibilities. Could it be that I had unwittingly signed up for a secret subscription service? Or was someone using my email address to send me lavish meals as a way to capture my attention? The idea that a mysterious benefactor was sending me gourmet dinners, each more exquisite than the last, was as alluring as it was baffling. I began to document the receipts, noting the dates, the detailed menu items, and the exact delivery times. The receipts weren't random, they followed a hidden schedule. Almost ritualistically, they arrived on Thursdays and Saturdays at precisely 12:17 a.m., 12:23 a.m., or sometimes 12:05 a.m. It was as if these midnight feasts were part of a clandestine pattern that I had never noticed before. That night, unable to sleep and consumed by a mixture of anticipation and trepidation, I sat at my kitchen table with a cup of chamomile tea and my laptop open to my email. I scrolled through the receipts once more, scrutinizing every detail, the aroma described in the menu, the delicate interplay of flavors, the names of the dishes that sounded almost poetic. I noted that each receipt ended with a subtle tagline, "For those who dare to savor the night." The phrase struck a chord within me, evoking a sense of forbidden indulgence and mystery. I couldn't help but wonder if the meals were not only a culinary treat but also a message, a secret invitation to something more. As the hours passed and the soft tick of the clock marked the slow passage of midnight, I resolved to follow the clues. I responded to the latest receipt with a cautious inquiry, writing, "I noticed a discrepancy in my order. Could you please confirm if this is intended for me?" I hesitated before clicking send, my heart pounding as if I were about to cross a threshold into the unknown. That simple act of inquiry felt monumental, a step that could either expose a mistake or reveal a hidden truth about my own life. I didn't know what to expect, but the desire to understand was too strong to ignore. I closed my eyes and waited. The silence of the night was punctuated only by the hum of my computer and the distant sounds of a city that never truly slept. Little did I know that this email inquiry was the key that would unlock a chain of events far beyond my wildest imaginings, a chain that would lead me into secret late-night meetings at a trendy bistro and a chic venue, where every moment was infused with intrigue, romance, and a daring call to live life in its fullest, most unguarded form. Within 2 days of my inquiry, an unexpected reply arrived. The email was brief, written in elegant, flowing script that contrasted with the rigid layout of my typical work emails. It read, "Dear Ms. Carter, your palate for the extraordinary has not gone unnoticed. We extend an invitation to join us for an exclusive dining experience tonight at La Nuit Étoilée, a trendy bistro known for its innovative cuisine and intimate ambience. Please confirm your attendance by replying OUI. Yours in secret indulgence, Le Gourmet Express. I stared at the message in disbelief. The name Ms. Carter confirmed that I was indeed the intended recipient, though I had never given that name in any public context. It was as if someone had been tracking my every move, or perhaps reading between the lines of my routine, and decided that I was ready for something more. The bistro, La Nuit Italie, was a place I had passed by on numerous occasions, its neon sign and sleek facade hinting at the promise of adventure and refined taste. I felt both apprehensive and thrilled. This was a door to a secret world, one I was now compelled to open. After a moment's hesitation, I replied with a single word, OUI. That small, affirmative act felt like a turning point, a commitment to embrace the mystery that had been unfolding in my inbox. I spent the next few hours preparing for the night. I chose an outfit that balanced sophistication and allure, a form-fitting black dress, a pair of understated high heels, and a light jacket that I could easily remove as the night progressed. I applied my makeup with deliberate care, emphasizing my eyes, which I hoped would convey the quiet intensity of my newfound curiosity. The scent of a delicate perfume, one I recalled ordering by mistake, lingered around me, almost as if it were a subtle calling card of the secret that had already begun to shape my life. When the hour arrived, I left my apartment and hailed a rideshare. The city at night was transformed, streets shimmered with rain, neon lights danced on the wet pavement, and every shadow hinted at secrets. I arrived at La Nuit Etoile and was immediately struck by its atmosphere. The bistro was tucked away in a lively neighborhood, its entrance modest yet inviting. Inside, the decor was an eclectic blend of modern chic and warm vintage touches, a cozy space where low lighting, plush seating, and artistic accents created a sense of intimacy and sophistication. I checked in with the discreet host, who greeted me with a knowing smile and a hushed bonsoir. He led me to a private table in a secluded corner of the bistro, away from the main hustle but close enough to absorb the pulsating energy of the place. The table was set with minimalistic elegance, a single white candle, fine porcelain, and a small vase holding a solitary bloom. As I settled into my seat, I noticed that the ambience was charged with a delicate tension, the promise of connections, of conversations that went deeper than mere pleasantries. The evening unfolded in a series of gentle yet powerful moments. I ordered a tasting menu that was described as a journey through the nocturnal flavors of the city. Each course was presented with a flourish, accompanied by poetic descriptions that evoked memories and dreams. As I savored each bite, I felt a stirring inside me, a quiet awakening of senses and emotions that I had long kept muted by the demands of everyday life. Between courses, I found myself drawn into conversation with a man seated at a nearby table. His name was Lucien. He was quiet, his dark eyes reflective and his demeanor unassuming, yet there was an undeniable magnetism about him. We exchanged a few words at first, a polite inquiry about the exquisite cuisine, a comment on the delicate balance of flavors, and soon our conversation deepened. Lucien told me that he, too, had been receiving mysterious gourmet receipts for nights that he could scarcely remember, nights that led him to secret meetings at similarly exclusive venues. His tone was low and sincere, and his eyes held a mixture of wistfulness and hope. As we talked, I began to sense that our experiences, while uniquely our own, were threads in a larger tapestry, a hidden pattern of late-night escapes and secret rendezvous orchestrated by forces we could only begin to comprehend. The bistro's ambient music, a fusion of gentle jazz and modern electronica, provided a backdrop to our conversation. Every so often, I would glance at my phone to find another discreet notification, a subtle chime that reminded me that the night was not yet over. At one point, the screen lit up with a message, "Next venue, the Crimson Parlor, 12:30 a.m. Be ready." The invitation was succinct, yet its implication was profound. Our journey was far from over, and the mysterious forces that had orchestrated my gourmet escapes were leading me onward, deeper into a night of secrets and connection. Lucien's gaze lingered on me as if he understood my inner turmoil. "It appears," he said softly, "that we are meant to follow these clues, to embrace these moments as more than fleeting indulgences." His words resonated with me, affirming the growing belief that my hidden pattern of late-night escapes was a path toward self-discovery and, perhaps, a connection with kindred souls. As our conversation waned and I excused myself to prepare for the next phase of the night, I felt a quiet determination swell within me, a readiness to step further into the unknown, to see where the night would lead. After leaving La Nuit Etoile with the lingering warmth of conversation and the promise of new beginnings, I made my way to the Crimson Parlor as instructed by the discreet notification. The ride was quiet, a time for reflection as the city's nightlife blurred into a stream of neon and shadow. When I arrived at the Crimson Parlor, I was immediately struck by its dual nature, part upscale lounge, part secret hideaway. The entrance was unassuming, a simple black door with a small, elegantly embossed emblem, but as I stepped inside, I was enveloped in an atmosphere that was at once sultry and refined. Inside, the Crimson Parlor exuded an air of exclusivity. The decor was a bold contrast of deep red and ebony, accented by soft golden lighting that cast dancing shadows on the walls. Plush velvet sofas, low tables, and discreet private booths created intimate pockets where conversations could unfold in quiet secrecy. The ambient music was a seductive blend of smooth R&B and modern lounge beats, each note pulsing with the rhythm of desire and possibility. I found a table near a window and took a moment to absorb my surroundings. As I sipped on a signature cocktail, a dark, velvety concoction with hints of cherry and spice, I scanned the room, noticing other guests who seemed equally enveloped in the allure of the night. Their faces were illuminated by the soft glow of candlelight, expressions ranging from reflective introspection to quiet anticipation. It was clear that this was a place where the boundaries between public and private, between indulgence and intimacy, blurred into one. Before long, another discreet notification arrived on my phone: exclusive meeting, private booth 3, 12:45 a.m. I felt my heart quicken. With a mixture of reluctance and curiosity, I rose and made my way to the indicated area. The corridor leading to private booth 3 was dimly lit, and the soft hum of conversation faded as I approached. I opened the door to reveal a secluded booth arranged with elegant seating, a low table adorned with a single red rose, and a sense of secrecy that was almost palpable. There, waiting in the soft light, was a woman whose presence was both enigmatic and inviting. Her eyes, the color of twilight, locked with mine as if she had been expecting me. "Bonsoir," she greeted in a voice as smooth as velvet. "I am Colette." Her introduction carried an effortless charm and a quiet confidence that immediately put me at ease. Over the next hour, Colette and I spoke in hushed tones. She told me that she, too, had discovered her own pattern of secret escapes, hidden getaways booked at midnight, invitations that appeared as if by magic, and a yearning for the unexpected that had driven her away from the ordinary. As our conversation deepened, I learned that Colette had been following the same trail of mysterious gourmet receipts and discreet email confirmations. Her story was a tapestry of longing, courage, and the quest for a more authentic existence. Colette confided that the Crimson Parlor was more than just a venue for indulgence. It was a meeting point for those who understood the language of secret escapes, a place where every discreet order, every hidden confirmation, was a message from the heart. As she spoke, I felt a kinship, a sense that our lives, though seemingly separate, were connected by a shared desire to transcend the mundane. We exchanged details about our previous getaways, our favorite secret corners of the city, and the small joys that had been rediscovered in the quiet hours of the night. Her words, filled with both vulnerability and strength, resonated deeply with me, and I began to see that my own pattern of midnight escapes was not something to be ashamed of. It was a manifestation of a true, unfiltered self-yearning for connection and meaning. As the clock inched closer to 1 a.m., the conversation with Colette began to wind down. She handed me a small, handwritten note that read, "Until our paths cross again, keep chasing the magic of midnight." With that, she slipped away into the soft darkness of the Crimson Parlor, leaving me with a heart full of hope and a mind racing with possibilities. I spent the remainder of the night wandering through the venue, my thoughts swirling with the events that had unfolded. Every discreet notification on my phone, every receipt for a gourmet delivery I had received in the past, now took on new significance. They were not isolated incidents but part of a hidden narrative, a pattern that spoke of secret meetings, intimate evenings, and the timeless allure of midnight escapes. I realized that my life had been quietly guided by these messages, nudging me toward moments of vulnerability, adventure, and self-discovery that I had never before allowed myself to experience. By the time the early hours of the morning arrived, I had left the Crimson Parlor with a mingled sense of elation and introspection. The secret rendezvous with Colette had reaffirmed the hidden patterns in my life, a life punctuated by midnight escapes that spoke of freedom, vulnerability, and a hunger for authentic connection. I returned to my hotel room at the Seraphim, my mind buzzing with the events of the night. As I sat by the window, watching the horizon slowly yield to the first light of dawn, I couldn't help but reflect on the journey that these gourmet delivery receipts and discreet email confirmations had set in motion. I opened my journal and began to write, each word a cathartic release of the emotions that had been stirred by the night's secret meetings. I recorded every detail, the taste of exquisite cuisine described in the receipts, the exact times of delivery, the mysterious codes and taglines that had accompanied each message. I wrote of Colette's gentle smile and the way her eyes held a story of their own, and I mused on the possibility that these midnight escapes were not merely acts of rebellion, but invitations to explore the hidden depths of my soul. I realized that each secret rendezvous was a chapter in an ongoing narrative, a narrative of transformation that challenged the mundane and embraced the extraordinary. In the quiet solitude of dawn, I began to see the pattern more clearly. The gourmet delivery receipts, once puzzling anomalies in my inbox, were now part of a deliberate symphony of signs. They spoke to a side of me that had long been dormant, a side that craved the thrill of the unexpected, the joy of spontaneous connection, and the courage to step into the uncharted territory of the heart. I felt a profound gratitude for the mysterious admirer who had, in their own subtle way, shown me that life's most transformative moments often come disguised in the form of small, unexpected gestures. Over the following weeks, I embraced these midnight escapes with a newfound sense of purpose. I learned to savor each secret meeting, whether it was a quiet conversation in a trendy bistro, an intimate encounter in a chic venue, or even a solitary moment of reflection after receiving an elegantly worded email confirmation. I began to experiment with my own patterns, scheduling intentional getaways to places that resonated with my inner desire for freedom. I visited luxurious hotels, explored hidden rooftop bars, and even found solace in the quiet corners of upscale art galleries. Each experience, no matter how fleeting, was a step toward reclaiming a part of myself that I had long buried under the demands of daily routine. I also reached out to others who shared similar experiences. I discovered an underground network of individuals, each with their own secret patterns of midnight escapes and hidden rendezvous, who found meaning and liberation in the small acts of rebellion against a monotonous existence. In these discreet gatherings, we exchanged stories of lost dreams, of moments when a single gourmet receipt or a puzzling email had sparked a revolution in our hearts. These conversations were raw and unfiltered, filled with both laughter and tears, as we each recounted the joys and sorrows of our hidden journeys. I found comfort in knowing that I was not alone, that there was a community of souls all striving to break free from the invisible chains of routine. One evening, as I sat in a quiet corner of a trendy bistro in a city far from home, I received another discreet notification. It read, "Invitation, midnight soirée at Le Chic Salon. Confirm with OUI." The message was as elegant and mysterious as those that had come before, and without hesitation, I replied OUI. That night, Le Chic Salon, a venue renowned for its avant-garde style and intimate ambience, became the stage for another unforgettable encounter. In the softly lit space, amidst whispered conversations and the gentle clink of crystal glasses, I encountered a man named Antoine. His presence was magnetic, and his eyes held a quiet intensity that spoke of secrets and unspoken promises. As we sat together in a secluded booth, sharing our stories over delicate hors d'oeuvres and fine wine, I realized that my midnight escapes were no longer solitary indulgences, they were the threads that wove me into a tapestry of shared longing, hope, and transformation. Antoine spoke of his own journey, a tale of a man who had once been shackled by the expectations of a conventional life, only to find freedom in the clandestine hours of the night. His words, both tender and resolute, resonated with my own inner truth. I learned that the gourmet delivery receipts and the puzzling email confirmations were, for him as well, a pathway to rediscovering the parts of his soul that had been hidden away. In his soft voice and gentle touch, I found the courage to acknowledge my own hidden desires, the desire for intimacy, the hunger for adventure, and the yearning to experience life in all its messy, unpredictable beauty. The night at Le Chic Salon unfolded like a dream. Time seemed to stretch and contract, each moment laden with a sense of inevitability. The soft glow of the venue, the murmur of discreet laughter, and the delicate aromas of exotic spices created an atmosphere that was both intoxicating and transcendent. By the time the early hours of the morning arrived, Antoine and I had shared secrets that felt both personal and universal, whispered confessions about the weight of routine, the thrill of the unknown, and the profound beauty that lies in embracing life's uncertainties. As time flowed on, I began to see that my secret midnight escapes were not isolated events but integral parts of my evolving identity. Every receipt, every confirmation email, every discreet notification was a stepping stone, a piece of a puzzle that, when assembled, revealed a hidden pattern of liberation, vulnerability, and connection. I no longer felt shame in the secrecy. Instead, I embraced it as a testament to the parts of me that longed to live fully, to experience both the sweetness and the sorrow of genuine intimacy. I started to plan my own getaways with intention, blending the spontaneous magic of the unexpected with careful, deliberate choices. I took trips to far-flung cities and quiet coastal towns, each escape a celebration of the freedom to be unapologetically myself. I became an avid documentarian of these experiences, photographing the soft light of a midnight skyline, recording the murmurs of conversation in hidden bistros, and, above all, writing extensively in my journal about the emotions that each secret meeting evoked. One crisp spring night, I found myself in a bustling metropolis where a particularly elaborate email confirmation had invited me to a gourmet affair at La Lumière. The venue was a chic, modern bistro known for its innovative cuisine and discreet atmosphere. With a sense of eager anticipation, I arrived to find the bistro abuzz with quiet sophistication. The decor was a harmonious blend of contemporary minimalism and touches of vintage charm, marble tables, soft ambient lighting, and a backdrop of delicate string instruments. I was seated at a table by the window, where I watched as the city's lights flickered like distant fireflies. That evening, I encountered a host of fascinating individuals, each with their own story of midnight escapes and secret adventures. In the gentle glow of candlelight, conversations flowed freely, and for the first time in a long time, I felt a deep connection to the human experience, a shared understanding that the pursuit of authenticity was a universal endeavor. As the night wore on, I received yet another discreet notification. Your private meeting awaits in the VIP lounge. Code, MU2. I excused myself and made my way to a secluded area behind the bistro. There, in an elegantly appointed lounge with plush seating and soft jazz playing in the background, I met a woman named Marcelle. Marcelle was striking. Her eyes, a vivid shade of green, held stories of passion and resilience. Over the course of a long conversation, she revealed that she, too, had once lived a life defined by routine until a series of unexpected midnight escapes had shown her the beauty of living authentically. We shared tales of secret rendezvous, hidden getaways, and the moments of vulnerability that had transformed us. In Marcelle's words, I found a mirror reflecting my own hidden desires, and in that shared vulnerability, we forged a connection that felt both tender and revolutionary. In the weeks that followed, I continued to explore the realm of secret escapes with renewed vigor. I learned to trust in the language of these discreet messages. They were not coincidences but carefully curated invitations to rediscover parts of myself that I had long neglected. I began to see that the gourmet delivery receipts and the puzzling confirmations were like keys, each one unlocking a new door to a world where passion and authenticity reigned. I embraced each night as an opportunity to reconnect with the self that had been muted by the demands of daily routine, and I discovered that every intimate encounter, every secret meeting, was a step toward healing old wounds and igniting new dreams. Now, as I reflect on the tapestry of my midnight escapes, I feel a deep gratitude for the journey that these mysterious messages have taken me on, a journey that has transformed an ordinary life into an extraordinary odyssey of connection, vulnerability, and hope. The gourmet delivery receipts that once seemed like accidental anomalies in my inbox have become the language of my liberation, each one a reminder that life's most profound adventures often begin in the quiet hours of the night.